So the Visa Bulletin was created because there's a backlog, a line that emerges for people that are applying for U.S. green cards. If you're applying for a green card based on most family type cases, not immediate relatives, not spouses of U.S. citizens, parents of U.S. citizens, or children, but everyone else, there's a line that comes because there's a limited number of green cards available. Also, employment-based cases, people getting a green card through work, there's only a limited number of those that come on. So each year are put out. So there's a line that emerges. And what they do is the day you filed your case, and in the case of some employment cases, the day the labor cert is filed, you get your place in line. So let's say you started your case on February 1st, 1995. That's your place in line. And the Visa Bulletin is this chart that gets updated every month. And once that chart, the date that's on it, passes the day that you started your case, that's when you could take your case to the next level. Like you could start applying some paperwork that's needed, or you could have the green card issued potentially. So this month's Visa Bulletin came out. It had a few interesting points. In general, you got to keep in mind, there's a lot of different travel bans that are happening that have stalled the process. So these timelines are really messed up. And most likely some visa categories, some immigrant visas or green card categories are not going to be used up this year. They're just going to be left and burned out because you know, these visa bans prevent them from being used up, and they have to be used this year or you lose out on it. For example, for the people that were lucky enough to be chosen in the green card visa lottery, if they don't have their interviews and the case isn't approved before the end of September, then they're out. They lose a chance to get the green card based on the lottery, which is horrible. But right now, most embassies are closed. Some of them are starting to open. And interviews are not happening for adjustment of status in the United States. So these people are on a deadline. If they don't get their case done in time, they lose this wonderful opportunity that they had. So it's a sad situation, but it's something important to know before looking into this stuff for people that have immigrant visa cases pending. So let's talk about the family-based categories. The F2A, these are spouses and children of green card holders, is current. So there's no line in that kind of category, and it's going to be left open for a while. So that's a positive thing. So if you do have that kind of case, you could get your green card much faster than historically could happen. And moving on to employment-based, EB1 category has shot up. It's faster. EB2 for Indians has jumped a whole year almost from June 2006 to May 2017. So that's a positive. But on the other side, that the final action date they can issue the green card has moved up, but not as much the date of filing date, which is when they can start the paperwork for it. So it keeps them stalled in a weird way. If you have these kind of cases, you know what I mean. If you're in the US and you on H-1B, for example, you can't start filing your paperwork until the date of filing, the secondary chart reaches your time, and that one hasn't moved up, unfortunately. So these are the kind of things that are happening. There's not much, I would say, that's, you know, game changer. Everything's slowed down kind of. But just, you know, keep an eye on this. Just type in Visa Bulletin on Google, and the site that comes up for USCIS, I'm sorry, from Department of State, will have the information related to the Visa Bulletin. You can check your timelines there. So let's go to some questions. Okay, so that was the questions so far, but thank you everyone who's joined the group. Let me discuss the Visa Bulletin a little more than in a little more detail. So one thing that causes confusion with the Visa Bulletin is the fact that there's two charts there now. So there's a first chart for each category, like a family-based, and that says a date of action. And date of action is the date they could actually print out and issue the green card. And there's also a date of filing, and that's when you can submit the paperwork to start the green card process. So that was the second chart. The date of filing was begun during President Obama's administration to kind of help people out to start the process sooner, because back in the day, you have to wait till your green card is approvable and printable before you can even start the paperwork. And so this causes people to have to wait much longer to get stuff started. But if you're in the United States and you file to start the paperwork sooner, you could, you know, wait in the United States, you get a work permit faster, all this kind of stuff. But one thing is important to note that there is a Visa Bulletin, but there's also a USCIS interpretation of it. It depends on how USCIS thinks about the case, whether they're going to use what's called the date of filing or the date of action. As you can tell, it's kind of confusing. Best to do is just consult an immigration attorney to help guide you through it.